So now that we have created our relationship, let's look at our navigation, and let's start by looking at the menu of the system. By default, it has a menu called application menu. So I'm going to create this and call this a top menu, which I want to build this. And here I have different pages. So by default, the system always starts with a home page. I'm going to create a page. As you recall in my example, I have a page for approvers, whereby the manager will be able to approve it. And unlike a lot of systems, we can immediately create a page associated with a menu. Okay, and we're going to call it approver. And this is going to be part of my project management. Okay, and I have created that. So when I save that, next thing, notice there are two nodes. I'm going to add a third node, and I'm going to add this node called reports. Yep, and I'm going to create a menu, and it's going to be reports. Okay, this time I'm going to call this and say this is reports, and I will create this, and my system would have completed that. Now if you look at this, I have many options, so I can now change my different options and say I want to tap menu. I double click on this, it gets saved. Now when I save this, immediately I would be able to see within my system this whole navigation page that goes along with this system. Okay. So now that we have finished building these pages, let's start to fill all these pages. And we simply go to our system and says it's just a web part for reporting, so we just create one. So what we're going to do now is going to provide the project.portfolio, the one that we saw earlier. Okay, and this will be part of my program management, and this shows all the projects and allow us to drill through the workspace. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to determine we're going to determine where the data comes from, and the data essentially comes from projects. See, so we save this, and now we have an option of selecting different view, and the view that we want is to select a Gantt view, right? So we can click on this Gantt view and essentially able to say project schedule, and now we can select the fields that we want, including the title, but the title may not be very useful, so let me just change the caption to call it project name. Yeah, I'm also going to select my project manager, and instead of showing the project manager which stores the ID, I'm going to show the user info part of it. Okay, and at the same time I will put in my budget amount. Probably I just change this to budget, and I will select the different format for it. I probably don't need the cents, dollar and cents. And what I'll do is I'll set the Gantt setting, which is the start date, the finish date, and the percentage completed, and I will display as a month view. Now once I've considered this setting, I will save this, and with my definition I will save it, and I will drop it onto my Webpart page. So my Webpart page is in this field called default, and I'm going to put it under the header zone of that page. I drop it in, and voila, we are done. And you have seen this particular project. Notice the numbers are all in there. Okay, and that's great. But you know what, I told you we have multiple columns, right? So let me come in and build the columns for this thing. Now in this particular list, if I've had the time to show you earlier, we have 3 unique fields that show us the status for this project, and it's in the schedule status, cost status, and risk status. But rather than showing it in text form, I'm going to use the advanced field, which will allow me to select the field that I want. So I'm going to select the schedule status field. I'll call this, the caption will be status, and I will select the format that I want. So maybe what I want to do is use this thing called schedule, right? I will select the schedule, and with this schedule, if I select this, the caption is on track, slightly delay, and overdue. What essentially it says that if the value of this column equals to this field, use this icon instead, and I'm done. So for fun, I will just add one more for my cost, and the field is called project cost status, and I will just use something simple, and this is within budget, this is over budget, this is slightly over budget, and this is cost. So I save this, and these two settings are appearing here, right? Now I can even change my caption to come in and say I will add new project, view project. So I can determine the business caption, edit project, the context of it, and I will provide the permission to make sure that everybody can view, edit, and new. I save this, and now my setting is much more beautiful. Okay, so if I edit this and I say this is managed by administrator, and I update the field and say it's slightly delayed and the cost is over budget, I have my new icon. If I have this and this is way over budget and overdue, I save this, and voila, my icons are really beautiful now. And that's it.